All right, I sent you guys to the room. Do you see it?
Bye, guys. Wish me luck. Everyone's favorite part.
Hello, this is the former chair of evocation, Amber Doherty. The following is a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Names, characters, businesses, places, and incidents are either products of the Dungeon Master's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblances to actual persons, living or dead, or any actual events are purely coincidental. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. You might be wondering how we got here.
First off, you're living in Michael's mansion. How's that going?
I mean, I'd imagine probably pretty fine. I imagine I picture a lot of like mornings of Wes just like wandering around with like a coffee in a bathrobe, just like what, just walking around, not really have anything to do.
For the audience, you want to tell them what aspects you chose for Michael's manor?
Yes, I took teleportation circle. So there's a teleportation circle in there. I don't remember. I remember I took hidden, which
means that there's a kind of hidden entrance, a disguised entrance to the actual manor.
And then, did I take study or did I?
Study.
I took study, okay.
I believe you took study, yes. So Michael, being the chair of abjuration, obviously has a study for studying abjurations and different magics like that. The way the hidden works, actually, is there's a Chicago apartment complex that you can walk into, and that is the front door of the manor. But then if you go out the back door, you actually exit into this kind of countryside, hillside, kind of very secluded. You're not exactly sure, somewhere probably in the Midwestern area. And there's like a big lake back on the backside of it. And there's like a dock and essentially where Michael would always take you fishing.
Magical portals to...
Yeah, there's just one essentially magical portal in Chicago. It makes sense that when...
So is the actual manor out in the countryside, but there's an entrance in the city?
Yeah, the actual physical... Yes, exactly. That's how we're handling the...
Yeah, that works for me.
Hidden nature of it. It makes sense because when SWAT moved to Chicago, obviously Michael would have had his front door enchantment just then moved to Chicago instead of moving his entire manor.
That's pretty handy.
So that makes sense. And obviously he has the funds to do so, as you now have the funds to do so. We'll get into that
right when there's no more SWAT shop.
Right when there's no more SWAT shop, we'll get into that also in a moment. So what is your day-to-day like?
I think early on, Wes
just at the very
very beginning. Like I said, I don't think Wes has anything to do. I think he's just wandering around, like poking through the mansion. Maybe wanders around the lake a few times, but like it's for the most part like keeping a low profile. I think I think Jordan's also like
doing the same thing, just kind of hanging out around the house. It's getting a little bit messy here and there, but you guys managed to.
Hey, do you want to? There's that new movie. They finally started releasing movies again. You want to?
I mean, yeah, we could go. What time are you thinking?
I don't know, like a matinee, like 3.
Sure. Yeah, if we could do a little bit later, I'm gonna go fishing again, just because it's a nice.
I mean, you got magic. You can just like summon a fish.
It's more the practice of it.
All right. Well, there's right down the street. So
5, 6.
I guess I'll go. I don't know. And then I wander away.
You wander away. You hear a knock on the door.
The front door or the back door?
Front door.
I go to the front door.
Front door. You open it up, and standing there is Llama.
Hi.
Hello, Wesley. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Come in. Sorry.
No, not a problem.
He seems like he's kind of dressed to be out and about. This is like mid-January, so you think that he's probably registered under the Phaetonian Registration Act, so he's fine to walk about.
Is he not human?
Llama?
Yeah.
No, Llama's a very, very old elf.
Oh, boy. I fucked up.
Yeah, he's somewhere around 800 years old. All right, yeah, he walks in and goes,
Wesley, how are you been handling this whole transition? I'm sure it's been hard.
Mostly laying low. I've got it better than others. Jordan and I were gonna go watch a movie later. Now that there's new movies out. It's that Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, that's the spiked one, right?
Yeah, with the awful legs. Yeah.
Yeah, they never got around to fixing that, huh?
In our world, no, because of the Phaeton thing. They never fixed it in our world.
He goes,
which is Wesley. A weird thing to say. Like, would they fix it in another world?
I have no idea. I guess, falling stones and all. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I was wondering if perhaps I could... During the insurrection at the Society, my book on Outlanders was destroyed. I was perhaps wondering if it would be okay if I were to extract the book from your mind.
I don't know how much is there to extract. So I definitely took some of it, but I got some of it down.
This particular method, you see, all information is stored somewhere in the mind. However, it is a difficult task extracting it. And it could lead to some damaging if your mind is not strong enough. But it would be valuable information for me to obtain. Wesley, I do need to keep track of all of these records, even for the United Nations now.
Sure, why not? Let's get to it.
Okay, is there a ritual area? I'm assuming Michael has one.
There is in the study.
Yeah, we can do it in the study.
All right, you begin kind of going over to the study. Llama begins as you walk into the study. It's this giant, it's essentially like a library-sized area of this manor, and there's tons of books just all over the shelves, some for like reading pleasure, others study of the academic studies of the arcane abjuration, but tons and tons of books. And there is a kind of a lab area where you can kind of experiment with certain spells, and then there's also a ritual area with different components kind of hanging off the shelves, and you walk over to there. That's also where the teleportation circle is, in this kind of ritual area of the study. But you walk over to the ritual area, and he kind of pulls out a stool and some incenses and some other components and begins doing this spell. And as he kind of completes the spell, he pushes the fingers onto your head and he goes, "Now, Wesley, I simply need you to think of the book. That is all that needs to happen to finish this spell."
All right, I think about the book.
He says,
Now, be careful. This is somewhat dangerous. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
18.
18. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Gain +1 mind.
Ooh, juicy. Tasty boy. All right.
All right. The information begins flowing from you. And this is a question for you, Tyler, not necessarily for Wes, but have you ever daydreamed, and not like your mind wanders off, but have you ever been so tired that you start dreaming while you're awake? It's very weird. It's only happened to me a couple of times, but you're so exhausted that you just begin getting random flashes of memories and weird. It only happens. It's part of the hallucination aspect of being super tired. It's only happened to me a couple times. And don't worry, it's not super dangerous. But this is kind of what happens to you. You begin just kind of seeing things, and you begin remembering seeing the pages, which is really weird. And as you kind of look up, you kind of close your eyes and focus for a moment, and then as you open them, you see a quill essentially writing on this book, and it begins essentially jotting down everything you saw, which is the crazy part. And the information begins flowing from you. And this is the first part of the book that you actually didn't remember reading very clearly. But now that you are having this experience, it's kind of pouring from you. And then it's the information is how the Outlands are a separate plane of reality from our own, and how the stories are reflected from our world. And there was a specific philosopher and studier of the Outlands, Hugh Everett, that came up with this study and this theory that the stories from our world are reflected in the Outlands, and somehow whenever there's a concentrated story, it appears in the Outlands, and it's this weird reflection of our own culture and how things are separated from us, and this information begins flowing from you, and you need to kind of take a breather for a moment. And he kind of Llama releases the fingers from your head, and he gives you a moment to breathe, and he says, "May we continue?"
Yeah, go ahead and rip the band-aid off. Yeah, keep going.
All right, he places the fingers back on the side of your head, and I need you to make another wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, not as good. 5.
5. All right, you still take +1 mind, but you take -1 body.
Okay.
And this information begins flowing through you now, and it continues to flow through you now. And now there's been a little bit of a headache from that first part as it kind of drains you. This time that headache begins to wear you down, and you begin gasping for air and shaking. And the information that comes forth is what creates an Outlander. And the theories begin swarming through your head as there are some long forgotten demon or deity that they think might have created the Outlands, and then it got expelled from our world. There's some thoughts that the original whatever being created reality, some higher being that created the minor gods and all those things, created the Outlands as a means of checking or balancing us. Some think that there is just some alien world in the Outlands that is replicating the Outlands. It's a strange theories that are coming from this, and no one is quite sure. And this part you remember fairly well because you remember reading it pretty well. You retain this information, but at this point you're gasping and shuddering, and Llama just instinctively removes his hands from your head, and he goes, "I am sorry, Wesley. This is a very taxing procedure."
Yeah, that one. I thought I had it for a second. All right. Do you need to keep going, or?
We are almost finished, and you see that the book is about 2/3 of the way full.
Shit. All right. Just let me. Yeah.
No problem. He takes a moment to actually collect his breath. So you see little beads of sweat beginning to form on his head. It's obviously a little bit taxing on him as well, but he probably has a little bit more mental fortitude.
All right. Let's whenever you're ready.
All right. He puts his fingers back on your head, and I need you to make another wisdom saving throw.
That's another 5.
Another 5. At this point, you just begin. At first, it starts as a moaning, and then it begins just to be a scream. It's almost unbearable. Take -2 body.
Oh no.
-1 spirit.
Oh no.
But +1 mind.
Oh no. That's not good. My body is very low all of a sudden.
And then this information just begins pouring through you. And this information is the stuff that kind of creeped you out before. That's where that kind of -1 spirit comes from. Because it's the actual line of delineation between some of the Outlanders and the others. They're the ones from the stories we tell, obviously, like the Michael Mouse, the different, like, monsters that inhabit the Outlands that are from our, normal horror stories, your Frankensteins, your werewolves, etc. And sometimes they're just, like, beings of darkness and chaos. And one of the corpses from a return investigator, this branch of the Bureau itself that is sent to go out and explore the Outlands, they are simply beings of chaos. These dark creatures, whatever they are. And their only goal is to enter our world and invert it. Destroy it from the inside out. To tear down whatever walls we have separating ourselves from the Outlands and to become our world. And at this point, your yelling kind of reaches its peak, and Llama just pulls away from you quickly, and the book that has been writing, it finishes its last word, shuts, and then drops it. Wesley, are you okay?
Remind me to stop letting you do things to me.
I am sorry. Is there a way I could repay you for this? This is a great boon to me, and I'm sure that there is something I could do to repay you for this. If there's anything at all, please do not hesitate to ask.
Give me a minute. Maybe I can, write you or something. Oh, God, I can't really think right now. I just want to...
Of course, here is my... He puts out his stone of far speech and kind of grabs yours from you as you pull it out of your pocket, and he connects it so that you can call him for whatever favor you need. So you can write down Llama's connection somewhere on your character sheet. And he, takes a moment. He sees that you're still gasping on the ground, and he actually, like, runs out. You hear him kind of making some noise in the kitchen, and he brings you, like, some fruit and, like, a cup of tea, and he kind of sets it out for you. And he also, like, takes a moment to kind of sip on a tea that he got himself, and he goes, "While you recover, I was wondering what you were planning on doing for these next few months, years. I don't know what is going to happen."
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it. I don't know. I didn't really have much of a direction before SWAT. As much as I hated it sometimes, it sort of gave me a rudder, and now I'm just kind of around.
You humans are so interesting to me, especially you, Wes. You are such a... Chaotic is not the right word. I don't know what is exactly, but you do good in the face of chaos, but using it to your advantage. I would say just go out. Live into the world. Things seem to be dialing down a bit. They seem to have things under control. I would recommend joining PETA. Those individuals are a little bit more stringent, and the Hunters Society, I don't know if that fits you either. Maybe just go do what you do.
I guess that's kind of my problem. I don't do anything. I was trained in magic, and then I went and used it to gamble and cheat and commit crimes and steal things. And
there is plenty of people now that know magic is real and that there are monsters, and there are some that have been developing their abilities but discounted them, obviously, due to the fact that, well, magic didn't exist. Perhaps you would lead some of them. I'm not telling you what to do, however, I am obviously very busy with the United Nations effort of record keeping, and he kind of like stringes at the back of his neck and kind of clutching the book a little bit, and he goes, "But if you have nothing better to do, perhaps reaching out to some of these people would be in your interest."
Llama, Do you do you think with your United Nations connections you'd be able to, I don't know, search around and maybe find my mother?
That,
or at least get me a lead, because I've been thinking about it. I didn't really want to go after her. But I need answers, and she's around somewhere with her mind not right, and I can't just leave that. I need to.
He nods and then kind of gets a little. He kind of does a look over his shoulder, and then you see him cast something, and he kind of looks about for a moment, just making sure, checking his surroundings, and he kind of leans in a little bit more. He says, "Wesley, you must know that your mother is still a wanted terrorist. Now, we know that she wasn't responsible for everything that she did, but she did do some harm."
I'm not saying that she doesn't need to be brought to justice. I just want to talk to her is all.
He kind of he nods and he goes, "I will do what I can, and I will inform you of any updates regarding your mother. But do not go around, especially in these tumultuous times, spouting that fact lightly."
I've looked around. There's some sort of abjuration field around here. It would take not more than a little bit of magic to spy on us here. So
That is fair. That is fair. He kind of gives you a nod, and he goes, "Well, Wesley, I will be seeing you, and don't stay cooped up in this manner this whole time. You know how the magic types do with staying in studies too long." He kind of looking around. Go out and live a little."
Coming from the premier library wizard. Wow.
He chuckles at this.
I really have fallen.
He chuckles and goes, "You're not wrong." And he kind of gives you his graces and leaves. So, what do you do?
I think I go get some water, maybe take a shower, and then Jordan and I go see Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
with old Sonic, not with bad Sonic.
with the bad Sonic.
With the bad Sonic.
You know what? Actually, Jordan invites you one of these days out to a fishing trip.
Yeah, sure, I'll go. I mean, it's like, I don't think I'm like constantly hanging out with the guy, but it's like we do live in this. We're roommates.
Yeah, you're out fishing with Jordan. It's kind of peaceful. You see, he obviously uses some of the same methods that Michael uses to fish. It's kind of a more complex, like almost fly fishing technique, but with a rod, and it's very interesting. And he obviously catches a lot more fish than you do. I think you think that he probably went fishing with Michael
pretty
a lot.
much the whole time. I'm kicked back with my feet up and like my hat like pulled down over my eyes, and I'm using animate objects to control the fishing rod.
Yeah, that's very good. You're actually using animate objects?
Yeah.
Roll a d10 for me.
2.
Okay. You're good. Yeah, you begin casting the spell and controlling the rod yourself, and you actually get one and you pull it up. Go ahead and take +1 spirit just for hanging out with Jordan.
Have I recovered any body over time? Do you recover body over time, or do you have
can
to
heal for
actually do something about it?
So if you go into the rules, there is a section on healing. If you just make a Constitution saving throw, and if you just like do regular, what are you at body wise?
3.
3? Okay, you can go ahead and roll healing. Do you go to the doctor or something?
What would a doctor do? It's all mental weakness, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely like you took a lot of psychic damage essentially, but it like hurt your body, like it was draining physically to your
See, I feel like that. I feel like from a draining thing, it just would take like a lot of rest to recover from that. Like I was just like physically weakened. I don't know what a doctor would do.
I mean, also don't forget that, there's like magic in the world now. They're studying magical healing and magical damage and that kind of deal. But if you just want to rest for it, just go ahead and roll a d20 for me and add your Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, I want to rest for it, and I don't... Mainly because I don't want people asking questions.
That's fair. No, that's 100% fair.
That's 13.
Okay, so the DC is... So how many body are you down?
From where I started?
Yeah.
3.
3 down? Okay, so that's negative 15. So what did you roll?
A 13.
13. Unfortunately, with the rest that you were getting... Actually, I'll give you 1 point for resting. So you heal 1 body. With just the regular amount of rest that you're getting, you're recovering some of it, but it's like your nerves are kind of fried. You find yourself like shaking every once in a while just from like the harm that you got from this. But you're relaxing. You're chilling with Jordan, and Jordan actually goes, Wes, is there like, I don't know, I was completely enveloped with SWAT before. Is there anything to like do around here? Obviously, I'm not 21 yet, so I can't go to bars and hang out with people.
I mean, you could with me. I know some people.
Yeah, it's also... Yeah, I don't know. I just feel kind of stuck with my thoughts.
You're barking up the wrong tree, my dude. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do.
I just feel like I should be doing something. Taylor went back to her order. I don't know what that means, but she's kind of gone. Walters is a 40-year-old man who is now working as some diplomat somewhere in the United Nations. I'm obviously too young to do any of that, so I don't know. It's just boring sitting here with all my thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw Cash last week. He was, seemed to be doing all right. I don't know where the fuck Julie is.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that's our mission. We find something. We find a way to be productive.
You hear a phone call coming from inside the house.
It's coming from inside. The call's coming from inside the house. Okay. Well, we're on the lake, aren't we?
Yeah, but you can hear it coming from the house.
That's so loud.
Yeah. You think it might be magical. There's a spell called Alarm. It's abjuration, Tyler. Come on.
Ah, shit. What kind of boat is this? Are we rowing back?
No.
Is
It's like it's a nice boat. Like, again, Michael has money.
Like it's a lake, so like a bass fishing type boat.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
You also have magic you could use to get there very quickly.
I'm not going to waste 50 gold on a teleportation circle.
I mean, you could also just fucking use Nimbus if you need to.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I have Nimbus. I forgot about Nimbus. I'm sorry. Oh, poor buddy. Yeah, I'll use Nimbus. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to make you roll for it. You just do. This isn't one of those things where you need to. You hop on Nimbus and fly over to the house, and you make it after the first few rings. You pick up the phone. It's kind of an older cordless phone. You're hearing a lot of static, though. It's really not working, and you hear kind of muffled, voice muffled, kind of coming from the phone. What are you trying to do to fix this?
Hello, is this Wes?
Yes, hello? Hello?
I can't really hear you. Need some help?
It seems like whatever your aura is doing, you've been having a lot of problems with your magical aura recently. Like light bulbs just don't work now around you. And it seems like this is probably just another factor of that.
Okay. Shit. Jordan!
It takes him a moment. You hear like the boat pulling up to the dock behind you, and you hear him like tying it off and stuff. He's like, I'm coming. I get it. You can't use the phone. Hold on. And you hear more kind of like,
Hello, you still?
And you I'm assuming just to say back like you're coming.
Yeah, like hang on, give me like 2 seconds. I'm sorry. Give me a minute.
Eventually Jordan comes in and goes, here, just give me it. And you take a step back away from the phone, and he goes, hello? Yeah. Yes, he's here. He just can't talk on the phone right now. Oh. Huh. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. We'll get on it. No, I'm just his roommate. Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye. And he hangs up, and he goes, there was this lady, I guess, and she says that she was told to contact you about this thing. She says that people are going missing. I don't know what you want to do.
Missing?
Yeah. She gave us an address. It's this shelter.
All right. Yeah. Fucking strap up and go. Finally, something to do. Let's figure it out.
Can I come with?
Yeah, please do. I could always use some backup.
All right. You two kind of load up your gear, take all your stuff together, and you head off to the address that
How do we get around? Do we have a magic car? Do we
How
just
do you get around?
do we take the L? I don't know.
I will say that you don't have like any specific form of transportation. You're not far from where the SWAT base was. That has been turned into a PETA location now. So do you just walk?
Give it a dirty look as we walk by. How far away is it? That's
it's about 2-3 miles from your apartment location.
I don't know. Is there a bus?
Yeah, you can hop on a bus.
Yeah, sure. We'll take the bus.
As you hop on the
just
bus,
standing there with all of our magic gear,
yeah.
And it's just normal now.
Yeah, I mean, so again, with the Paranormal Normification Act, you're not licensed, so you can't legally use that stuff out. You know that by now. But I mean, having it out, I guess.
I think
can't really tell.
Is the licensing? Is the licensing one of those things where it's like, unless you are stopped and asked about it, people don't know that people just if you're walking around with stuff, people assume that you're licensed. Because I think that's the way Wes would do it. Is he just walk around?
I think so. I think unless like a PETA officer sees you doing magic, yeah. If a PETA, well, actually at this point licenses haven't really been giving out yet, so there's no one licensed right now that you would consider. So right now it's just kind of, if you're walking around with magical items, a PETA officer might stop you and ask you what you're doing.
Okay. I think with Wes's level of like charisma and history of criminal activity, I think it's more of like he's a big proponent of act like you've been there.
Okay.
And,
go ahead
and people just
check
assume you know what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
That's 18.
18. Yeah. You don't get a lot of stop and go. You get stopped once and you're just told to put the items away or they'll be confiscated, that kind of deal.
I mean, most of my items are hidden. I think
That's
the only
fair.
thing I think with the exception of the staff, which isn't magical in and of itself.
Yeah, for sure.
And then my cloak, I guess, is the only other thing.
Yeah, and if you have the hood down, it just looks like a
Yeah, and I have the hood down, so
yeah.
I don't know if like everything else is like strapped to me inside the hood. I don't think I look like overtly magical.
No, yeah, that's fine. So you arrive at this location that you were given to this place, and you see it's a shelter for houseless people, and there is a lot of different creatures there, not just humans. You see gnomes, you see a couple of half orcs, you see elves. You see like one elf. You see a couple of dwarves, but you see different co-inhabitants of this shelter, and you see about 5 or 6 people running around. It seems you get there around lunchtime, so there's like a line at the lunch table, and you're kind of stopped at the door, asked what you need, and Jordan repeats the name of the woman, Willa, and you guys walk into this location, and as you are kind of walked in, you see a woman overseeing the food delivery and distribution process during this, and she's a larger black woman with these tight braids going down her back, and she has this towel, and she's like wiping off sweat as she runs around and does this kind of stuff. And what do you do?
Hi, excuse me?
Yeah, one moment, sorry. Just get that next thing of soup ready, okay? We got to get this line moving. There's like 12 other people that haven't been served yet, and they need to get served so we can clean up and then break down and try to set up for the game center. Hey, Get in line. You have to get in line for this. Sorry about that. Sorry. Hi. Who are you? What's going on?
Are you Willa?
Yes. That. Oh, are you Wes?
Yeah, you called us.
Nice to meet you. She kind of gives you a handshake. She goes,
This is my partner, Jordan.
She kind of
work
gives you a
investigating
look
partner.
Up and down. She goes,
My investigation partner.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay,
We're stepbrothers.
okay, yes.
It's not that.
She kind of
It
gives you
wouldn't,
another look
wouldn't
up
be a
and
problem
down.
if it was. Sorry, this is very weird.
No worries. I am part of this. She kind of leans in and she goes, I'm part of this, like, community. And I was told through the grapevine that you might be able to help with some of my problems here.
I guess it kind of depends on what your problems are.
It's on the stranger side.
I mean, isn't that why PETA exists now?
PETA doesn't work for us. And she kind of motions to the houseless population in front of you.
Makes sense. You, who told you I would help you?
A friend from this group I'm in. We kind of all have abilities, so to speak. We didn't realize that they were real, but once this whole thing, she motions, happened, we kind of all realized.
A friend, huh?
A friend, and he got it from another friend who talked to, I guess, this elf.
All right. I could definitely take a look. Like, here's the thing. I'm not really supposed to be doing anything. I'm what the government would consider a dangerous weapon. Now, the thing about that is I don't much care what the government thinks. So why don't you tell me what's going on, and I'll see if we can help you out.
She kind of smiles at that and kind of gives you a nod and goes, I'm glad, because there are people out here that need help, and obviously the government isn't helping. So let me cut to the chase. We've been having a lot of people missing. At first it was one or two, and you figure they moved on to another location. But we've been having more and more missing at this point. And
any similarities in the disappearances?
None. I mean, obviously this is an open shelter, so people are free to come and leave as they choose. Sometimes people don't come back, and that's just how it works, but we're having families missing. There was this girl and her mother, and they come every night. They haven't missed a beat since all this happened. And we haven't seen them in a week.
Got it. You guys, do you guys keep track of where people go? I know that's not necessarily something that you do around here, but do you know where people...
I mean, we know a couple of locations where people hang out. There's plenty of places where if we're full for the night, people go to rest, or we send them to rest. It's cold out, so a lot of people prefer not to stay out late, but if there's nowhere for them to go, they hunker down for the night. I can give you a couple of locations.
Please, that would be great. Do you know who the last person to see this mother and daughter were?
Phil, one of our regulars here, said he saw them out about a week ago, and then they hasn't seen him since. So,
is he here now?
Let me check. She goes and kind of asks around a little bit, and eventually a guy does come. It's this kind of older, he's a very skinny old man. You see like the I forget what the thing is, but he has kind of a glazed over eye, and he kind of walks with a bit of a limp, and he's fairly old. And he kind of limps over to you and he goes, hey, what do you need me for? He's also kind of eating this bowl of soup.
Do I have the names of the mother and daughter?
Yeah, it is Jamie and Charlotte. Jamie's the little girl, Charlotte's the mother.
I'm doing some private investigation work for the woman who runs this place. Did you, she says that you were the last person to see a mother and daughter by the name of Charlotte and Jamie?
Yeah. I saw him about a week ago. Haven't seen him since. They usually come around here to sleep.
Where's the last place you saw him? If I could ask. Thank you for your help, by the way.
No, not a problem. I'm trying to think. It was somewhere around. He says they were somewhere around River Forest.
All right. Thanks.
It was between River Forest and Elmwood. So.
All right. Got it. All right. Well, be sure to
somewhere off of Montclair.
Keep an eye out. If you see anything suspicious, you I guess I hand him no, I don't hand him a business card with my phone number. I don't want this tracked back to me. Say you let Willa know and she'll get in contact with me.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, he kind of shambles off. What do you do?
Yeah, I take the locations about where people hang out from Willa, and I turn to Jordan and I say, I guess we're going to River Forest.
All right, yeah. Let's head that way. You begin walking that way. Takes you another 20 minutes. You're walking there. What are you doing?
I'm keeping an eye out for thing. I don't think
How
Wes has
late
been out
in
like
the
walking.
day has it been at this point? I'll let you
If we
decide.
were fishing, that would have been early. It would have taken us time there. It's like late afternoon, I think.
Okay, yeah. It's a cold Chicago evening in January. The wind is blowing. It's frigid cold. You're freezing your ass off, but you're walking around. What are you doing?
I just want to keep an eye out for like unusual things, like how, like what about this walk is different now?
Yeah, I mean, just being out in society now with this kind of integration, you see a lot more activity from, Phaeton creatures and beings. You see, like, normally dressed elvish people kind of just walking around unhidden now. You also see, poorer people of the Phaetonian like, especially like dwarves and the orcish folk especially. You see one orcish folk sitting by a storefront with a can, kind of shaking it for cash. But you just see, like, it's weird now. You've seen this in the Phaeton side, but you've never seen this in Gaia. But you see kind of an integration of Phaeton and the like.
Let me ask you this: did the landscape change, or was it just all people were brought over?
Make
like,
a
what
perception
was
check for
brought
me.
over specifically?
Make a perception check for me.
I wouldn't know. I mean, maybe not Chicago, but like
it's very early in this happening. I will say that now.
18.
You've noticed some strange things, especially being out on the lake. You notice like trees have been growing taller overnight. You see that the lake you were actually like boat on, and it's been happening gradually over days, but it's getting bigger and wider. Right. And you feel like the fish you've been getting the ones that you have been catching are way bigger. And you also notice like the smaller fish that like you would normally catch, you haven't been seeing at all. So things are definitely starting to change a little bit. In the city itself, you just notice that like potholes appear more often. The city streets are kind of going to shit a little bit, not like crazy.
So it's more like a nuclear radiation mutation type thing is happening to the world than
a little bit.
Because like if a whole ass like elf city appeared in fucking Kansas.
You've only heard of one instance
of
that, and it happened somewhere in Europe, and it was kind of a big deal, and essentially another continent grew off of Europe, and it was essentially this elvish city. That's the only time that happened, and that is where Elfame resides.
Okay, so in which case I assume that there ended up...
I said that wrong. It's a hanging city.
Above.
Yes.
Got it. So I would assume that one of the first problems that had to be dealt with was like a shit ton of homeless Phaetonians.
Yes.
Since their world wasn't brought over.
Yes, most definitely.
Got it.
And again, in that houseless shelter you went to, there was a lot of Phaetonians there.
Now let me ask one more thing.
Let me give you this too. the missing mother and daughter were gnomish folk.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this one last thing before we get back to it. I know I'm asking a lot of questions,
No, it's
but
fine.
I'm just curious how the world works now. Too is so are the planes? I know you said the planes were attached to Phaeton.
Yep.
Are they actual planes of existence now, or are
Make
they?
an Arcana check.
It's a natty 1.
You have no fucking clue.
All right.
There's going to be an opportunity to get +1 mine there, but yeah, you have no idea.
Got it. I see that was a good question. All right. I was walking to Forest Lake.
River Forest. And
River Forest.
yeah,
That's what
River
it was.
Forest Park. Yeah, you walked there.
Yeah, now I'm just keeping an eye out for things. I'm
Okay.
looking for,
The sun begins to set. It's early, obviously, because
I
it's
think-
January.
I think I'm sort of like pounding the pavement, like asking people I see if they've seen.
Okay. Go ahead and make
These
a
two
perception
people.
check with advantage. Jordan is helping you out.
18.
18. Okay. You begin asking around, kind of making conversation with people, asking if they've seen anything. You're not really getting anything much. A PETA officer does come up to you, just doing around, asking if, kind of doing the same thing you're doing, asking if there's been any kind of strange occurrences happening around. But you continue to walk around, talk around, and it doesn't seem like anything's going on right now. You're not really seeing anything, but as it gets later, into the night, you kind of hear things happening in the city, and this happens almost every night. You hear PETA sirens going on, you hear police sirens going on, you hear kind of like some of the nightlife of Chicago, especially now in the more dangerous times. And it's fucking cold. But you continue walking around, and you hear a burbling sound.
You hear that?
Yeah, Jordan kind of stops and kind of listens around and says, "Yeah, where's that coming from?"
I don't know. Is there like a little creek or something nearby? Like what?
There is like a river nearby, but it doesn't seem to be coming from that way.
All right.
Are you trying to like go towards it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. You hear this bubbling sound, and you kind of begin stalking towards it. Are you sneaking? What are you doing?
I'm being cautious about it. But I'm not
Okay.
sneaking
Okay.
per se.
You begin like walking up, and you hear this burbling sound, and like it's almost like it sounds a little bit like lava, but it's not, obviously. You don't see like a glow coming from anywhere, but it's like burbling, gushing sound, and it's just kind of a sucking.
What does it seem to be coming from? Is it just like a general direction, or is it like
you're just
from behind an
following it,
alley?
and you're
like
not
where?
seeing anything. It seems to be, as you continue like stalking this thing down. You rolled an 18 on perception, right?
Yeah.
As you continue like stalking this thing down, you are kind of falling into this like behind this alleyway area. And yeah, what are you doing?
I look around. Are there any PETA officers around?
Doesn't seem to be one immediately around you.
Are they like all around? Are they like everywhere? Or there's just like a lot of them?
It's like the police.
Okay,
So they'll sometimes be there, sometimes just won't be.
got it.
They
Are
do
they
rounds.
are they magical? Are they decked out? Like what do they look like? What are
They look like the National Guard.
Got it.
And you
Okay.
think that it looks like, at least for this first bit, the National Guard has stepped in as PETA. For the most part.
I look at Jordan and I say, "Watch the alley. Make sure no one comes down here." And I take a step into the darkness and pull my hood up and cast a polymorph to turn myself into a pigeon.
Okay. Yeah, this actually is very good. You fly down the alleyway and kind of like look around.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
I think a pigeon's perception
Probably
is
the
the same
same.
as my perception. Oh, hell yeah. So I rolled the 17.
Okay, cool.
This dice has to be weighted. I've rolled 3 17s in a row.
No, that's fine. You go ahead and roll a d10 for me real quick.
That's a 1.
Roll 2d10 for me. This resets.
92.
Oh, that's a good one, I believe. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, yeah,
right.
That's fine. Nothing seems to happen at the moment. Yeah, so you begin flying around, and you rolled a 17. I'm assuming +1 for the pigeon. You begin flying around, and you just barely dodge out of the way as this like ball of meat just like smashes onto the wall.
Wait, what do you mean by like ground beef?
It looks
or
like ground beef.
Are we fighting a super meat boy?
You don't know. You just see this ball of meat, and you kind of duck out of the way, but it doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere.
It flew from somewhere.
Yeah,
that's the way direction works.
This alley is very dark right now. You look at the direction. You hear like that sucking, burbling sound.
Damn, I should turn into an owl.
Yeah, you are a pigeon, so you don't have.
I just night vision. Yeah, I just wanted to blend in.
That's fair. No, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna flap up toward maybe a higher perch.
Okay, go ahead and make a dex saving throw for me with the pigeon, so not yours, so just 0.
Natural 20.
Holy fuck! All right, you dodge another kind of chunk of meat, and this time you see something in the shadows move.
Okay.
And this is a ways away from Jordan. Jordan's still kind of post up in the alleyway.
Right. I'm not gonna get his attention. I'm not trying to engage with this thing. I'm just trying to get a look at it.
Okay. Go ahead and make another perception check for me. 8. Doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere.
Damn it. Shit. Okay, so describe to me the scene that we're in right now. Like what?
You're in a dark alleyway. You're kind of flying from the top of these buildings in like windowsills, kind of between the things, and you've been dodging these meat chunks.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna swoop down lower.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop trying to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and make one more dexterity saving throw for me, and I will use this to start making moves.
15.
15? Okay. You begin like diving down. And as you dive down, the meat chunk from behind you that you dodged before jumps off the wall and smashes into you, and you fly out of your pigeon form. You don't take any body yet, but you do land on the ground.
All right, I go into a roll, hood up, Jordan, back up now. As
you shot
talking
that
to
down
my stone
the
of far
alleyway,
speech.
And you see a shape. As you kind of shout down to Jordan, he kind of looks over to you, and he goes, "What's going on?" And then you see the shape just kind of wrap around Jordan, and he begins like flailing, and you hear a muffled scream, and you turn around behind you, and you see this form beginning to kind of bubble up and grow, and it just this amorphous blob.
Why is D&D so gross?
That's how it is.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run forward, and I'm going to hit it with a booming blade to try and break it free so I could reach in and grab Jordan and Thunderstep, if that makes sense.
So you're running to Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay. This thing is behind you.
Oh, it's behind me? Oh.
Yes.
Then can I...
There's let me be clear. There's two separate things happening right now.
Two separate things happening.
Jordan is being he's fighting off. You see bolts of energy beginning to fly away, but he's beginning to kind of get consumed by this mass.
Let me ask you this. Are my spells the same as when we finished season 1?
Yeah.
Right. So I haven't changed them yet. Okay, then I'm going to cast Scatter on me and Jordan.
Okay.
I still have...
What's the range on Scatter?
Very big. Very large.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a 6th level spell. I'd hope it's big.
Yeah. I assume it probably is. The range...
30 feet. Oh, maybe not.
No. So you are not close within Jordan right now. You still have to deal with this problem behind you. This is a soft
Okay,
move.
never mind.
You can
Right,
decide
I
to
know.
do what you will do, and I will make a move depending on it. So you do what you're gonna do, and I will.
Got it. Okay. All right. In which case, I'm gonna slam my staff wall of fire between me and the one in front of me,
Okay.
like splitting the alley, and then I'm gonna turn and break for Jordan.
Okay. Yeah. You do that. Go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
7.
7. Okay. You're good. Yeah. You do this. You put this wall of fire between you two. You hear kind of a blurring kind of screech coming from this mass, and you can see a little bit better now. It looks like badly made and somewhat rotten ground beef.
Gross.
With like little flecks of what may be bone kind of poking out from it.
Ew, yucky. Do I know what this thing is?
You can would you know? Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
8.
No, you have no idea. You book it towards Jordan. Jordan is still kind of fighting off this thing, and it seems to be dragging Jordan. Go ahead and make a perception check.
14.
14. You see it kind of dragging and pulling Jordan, and you kind of glance at to like the specific direction. Like it actually comes to like a point as it pulls Jordan aside, and it's moving a little bit slower than the other blob that didn't have like a person in it. And you see it's dragging it toward this sewer cap that is somewhat like slid off.
Can I see Jordan, like, in the thing,
Yes.
or is he completely covered?
You can see him in the thing. You can see like bits
Okay.
of arm and leg kind of tearing and fighting and blasting at this thing.
All right. I tear off in a sprint towards him and try and grab his hand to cast Thunderstep and move literally just as far away as possible.
Okay.
With the goal being, if just since we're playing more of a Powered by the Apocalypse thing,
Yeah.
my goal being I'm casting Thunderstep. The noise is where the explosion happens.
Yes.
So the goal being I hit it with a Thunderstep. I don't know, maybe I'll kill it. I don't expect it to.
Yeah.
But mostly I'll draw any PETA officer
Yeah,
in like
I get you.
fucking 3-block radius. And we'll be far away by that point.
Make a dexterity check. Straight dexterity.
6.
6. Okay. You rolled low enough. I'm just going to take a hard move here. Jordan, you begin trying to kind of grasp at Jordan, and this thing just begins like tearing at you as you kind of try to like. This thing is wet and slippery and gross, and you try to like grab Jordan, and every time you almost like get a contact of it, something shifts in this creature and kind of lashes out you. Take -2 body. As you take this -2 body, you begin kind of slapping at it, and you eventually grasp Jordan's fingers, and you thunderstep, teleport away, and you now are away from this thing, and you see it kind of streak out, and then you see it essentially slither and then go down into the sewer vent.
Now let me ask you this: do I see it? Because Thunderstep moves me really far away.
It's 90 feet, right?
300 feet.
Is it 300
The
feet?
range is 90 feet.
Got you.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, no, I can move 90 feet. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
90 feet. The thunder can be heard for
300 feet away, yes. And it does make a loud thunder sound, and you begin to hear, like, it takes, like, a moment, but then you hear PETA sirens beginning to come.
I like drag Jordan with my hood up and like
well, your
like,
hood,
stumble away into the night.
Your-
It's not working.
yeah,
now,
it's
I
not
assume.
working now, so you are visible now. And that wall of fire, do you drop it?
Yeah.
Okay, you see,
I mean, when I cast Thunderstep to get away, I drop the wall of
Gotcha.
fire and just sort of we try and slip away as PETA converges on that alley.
okay. Where are you going to?
Back to the manor.
Okay. You're walking, I'm assuming?
I think maybe we take the bus.
Okay. All right.
I think people on the bus have seen weirder things.
Yeah,
That's my
Jordan
argument.
is kind of covered in these scars and lesions right now. And as you kind of pulled him away, like, it kind of ripped at him a little bit more as you, like, thunder stepped away. But go ahead and make a perception check for me.
12.
12. All right. You begin waiting for the bus, kind of antsy, keeping an eye out. And
Maybe it's one of those things where we keep checking the timetables and we're like, "Ah, shit, it's not coming." So we walk to the next stop because we know we have
and you're
time.
Kind of like walking, trying to figure out,
slowly making
catching
our
up
way
to it.
home.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
And this time you don't hear the bubbling sensation, but it's suddenly upon you too. And this meat thing, whatever it is, must have gotten your scent somehow, you figure, but this thing is just on you. And it's currently attacking you both. Both of you will take -1 body, and it is your move.
All right.
How much, what's the die number on the Thunderstep? 3d10? Yeah, okay, cool.
Fuck. Okay. How do you fight ground beef? Let me... This might not work, but I'm just going to try it. I'm going to cast Dispel Magic.
Okay. Roll d10 for me.
2.
You're fine. Dispel Magic does nothing.
Alright, well, at least I know it's not a construct of any kind.
Yep.
Alright. I guess I'm going to... Alright, here's the sort of order in which I want this to happen.
Okay.
I want to scatter myself and Jordan as far away as possible, and then immediately draw a teleportation circle.
Okay, how far does Scatter go?
120 feet.
Okay.
Fuck. No, I don't want to do that. But I already said it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll d10 for me.
8.
Okay, you're fine. You cast Scatter on yourselves, and you and Jordan are, like, further away from this thing. You can now hear the bubbling sensation happening as you and Jordan both took some hits from this thing.
Jordan, just find a way to hold him off for like 10 more seconds.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it. He, like, kind of prepares some magic. You begin drawing your teleportation circle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Soft move here. This thing appears, and Jordan begins blasting at it. Jordan sends out these, like, little thin beams of energy that kind of into it. It doesn't seem to be doing a lot of, like, things to stop this thing's, like, essentially movement towards you guys.
Yeah.
And you begin drawing the teleportation circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get, you know...
Well, I mean, I already said I would. If I wouldn't, but I already said I would.
Well, you begin drawing it as this thing approaches. You can stop if you want to. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna stop because
okay.
I've already started.
All right, you continue drawing the circle. This thing gets really close to Jordan now.
I think at this point I reach up. Where are we on the street?
You are, like, I would say, like, a little bit back in the sidewalk area. There's you're kind of in the park area still, but, like, you're on the street side where the bus stations might be, and I'm assuming you just scattered yourself further down this sidewalk to kind of get away from this thing. So you have the park to your back and the rest of it to your front.
All right, I guess I'm gonna hit it with another wall of fire while I'm like as it approaches. I look up and see. I'm like, ah, shit.
That soft move, Jordan's right there now. It's
I can't
engaged
place
with
it between it and Jordan.
I don't believe so.
Damn it! I don't really have a good situation for this. Actually, you know what? Here's how I'm gonna do this. Here's how I'm gonna help Jordan. I have my wand of magic missiles.
Okay.
I'm going to use I'm just going to reach down. I think it's literally like I don't even have to think to cast the spell because it's like it's baked in and it's the easiest spell. Baby garbage time.
Sure.
Spell. It's baby's first damage spell.
It is. You can cast it up to 5th level, so it can get.
Yeah,
big.
I'm casting it at 5th level.
So that is big boy. Okay. 5th level.
Yeah.
I'll just say it is that then. Okay. You do that. It pounds at this thing, and actually now you see, like, bits of this beef beginning to fly away, and it begins kind of to recoil. It's still going to try to grab at Jordan, and I'll say it does because you did do your move, but you definitely damaged this thing, and it looks like it's trying to just get away with Jordan right now, but it seems like it's not worried about getting you now. It's just worried about getting what it has and getting away. So what are you doing?
All right. close am I to finishing the circle?
You're about 3/4. Nah, 2/3.
Can I burn like my equivalent of sorcery points to give Jordan the like the bend the luck? I know we're not like rolling,
Yeah,
but I'm like I want to give him a bonus in his combat, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I don't know.
Go ahead and just roll the d4 for me.
4.
4. Okay. You give Jordan this kind of boost as you continue drawing the circle, and he begins fighting out of it. And I'll say with that success, he manages to kind of break away from it as you kind of give him that extra boost he needs, and this thing just kind of skitters off.
Can I take a pot shot at it as we step into the circle? Like, can I just take a shot at it as it leaves?
What are you trying to do to take a shot at it?
Just a chromatic orb.
Using like a sorcery point to quicken spell?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead. Yeah. What is the damage on a chromatic orb?
I would say I'd upcast it, but also meh.
You can. It will just have different effects for you.
Yeah, nah. First level chromatic orb.
Okay.
3d8.
3d8. Cool. So it's that. You cast the spell at this thing. It blasts into the side of it. Go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
9.
9. You're fine. And you teleport away.
Hello, this is your DM here. DM obviously stands for disk management. Yep, is what I just popped up just now. Oh boy, I need to clean up some of my hard drives. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of You Might Be Wondering How I Got Here. If you like what we do and you want to share the show, go ahead and tweet about the show using the hashtag YMBW or rate us 5 stars on iTunes and now, officially, apparently, Spotify. So go ahead and rate us on Spotify and iTunes and we'll go ahead and share your name, put it in the show, give it some love, make it a character. You might be a villain, you might be a hero, you might be a guy that gets yeeted in one go. Who knows? Who cares? It's great. You're going to be a loved character in the show. So go ahead and tweet about the show using the hashtag YMVW and we'll put your name in the show. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes as well, or Spotify. And also we have a Patreon if you like what we do, patreon.com/YMBW podcast. We got some bonus content up there for you. We'll send you some personalized messages if you select a certain tier. There's even a tier where I'll DM a game for you guys if you really want to. So that's a $200 a month. I'll DM a session for you and I think up to 4 other friends, so 5 people in total. So there's an option there. Some of us also might join in on that. So, you know, if you want, who knows? Go ahead and check our Patreon, patreon.com/YMBW podcast. Again, I've been talking way too long. Get back into this episode. Oh, also, really quick, a small trigger warning for just in general. If you're not into like body horror or kind of the grossness that this meat monster may include. And yeah, just a general trigger warning for this next half. All right, get back into this episode. Mwah.
Put your fucking guitar away. You're dealing with meat monsters.
I know, and we're only in January.
Yeah, mid to late January. No, very late January now I think about it. But anyway,
Let's get this
you're back in Michael's manor.
I use Disintegrate. I kill the meat monster, and I
You're
save
back
the
in
princess.
Michael's manor. What do you do?
Damn it. I fucking bandage wounds.
You already used your heal for this quarter.
I can't still we're still wounded. Just because I'm not physically healing doesn't mean I'm not
actually, like. Okay, I didn't know if you were trying to heal again.
Yes, you know. Yeah.
You managed to begin bandaging yourself up, fixing yourself up, all that. You take account of your wounds. Jordan has these weird lesions all over his body, and you see bits of his like skin just ripped off.
All right. I go to Michael's study and I study.
Okay. Go ahead and make a Arcana check about this creature with advantage.
Where did my dice go? Why are my dice not out? 19.
19. You begin thumbing through books. It takes you a while. Are you doing this all that night, or are you like saving it for the morning?
No, I'm doing it all that night. I know that thing's still out there, so I'm like trying to.
You go late into the night. Jordan is at least taking a nap right now while you study because he took a lot of hurt. And you begin studying, and you find out something that you think is this creature. It's kind of in that unclassified region of monstrosity. And from what you can tell, especially in Phaeton, if there's a lot of death and a lot of corpses that happens, the spirits and the magical nature of their deaths can sometimes form these essentially just meat piles that pile up and then consume all the corpses that live in that area. It doesn't have to be humanoid corpses. It can be any kind of corpse. But after a lot of death, it begins growing, and it prefers to live in like swampier regions or regions where there's like a lot of just things to eat. And it likes to be hidden, and it doesn't like to be confrontational. But when it runs out of food or runs low on food, it traverses into areas where it's a scavenger. This monstrosity is.
Weaknesses, ways of defeating it.
It can split itself apart and then reform together.
Right.
Weaknesses, it doesn't seem to be good to actually like slash at it. It seems like that doesn't do a lot for it. It seems like fire is pretty useful on it, but the most useful thing would be to trap it and then kill it using some form of magical nature, what be it.
Got it.
Oh, it seems bludgeoning is obviously more useful than slashing. Piercing is a kind of more neutral thing, but seems like fire might be a good way about it. These things also can, in their areas, like if they live in a swampy area, they can emit some toxic gases.
Got it. How intelligent is it?
Not at all. It's a raging ball. It's purely survival instinct.
Got it. Okay. I go to sleep that night because I need to rest.
Okay.
And then the next day I take Jordan, and
he is still like sore from all of that, but he goes with you.
I'm going to set up a trap.
Okay. Where are you setting up the trap?
In a sort of the similar area.
Okay.
I do that. I go to the butcher and I buy like a shit ton of meat, like raw meat.
Okay. Yeah.
And I leave it out. It's cold out, so I guess it wouldn't rot in the sun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just get a ton of like a bunch of like there's like scraps.
Okay.
And I set up the hole.
Okay.
In an alley nearby where I last encountered it, and I wait. Like I want to hide on like a rooftop and wait.
Make either a survival or just make a survival check.
Well, unnatural 20. That's a dirty 20.
Very good.
I got the +1 from when Michael took me out as a child.
Yeah,
to camp.
You begin setting up this trap. Jordan kind of helps out. Where are you guys like wait for this thing?
I think I'm waiting on like a rooftop above it where like we can see the hole where it's on a wall in the alley. So like we can see all angles where it would get there. And my plan is once it goes in, I'm going to use Nimbus to fly down and tear the hole off the wall so it gets stuck in the hole.
Okay, sorry. You said there was repeat that for me. Sorry, I thought I was understanding it. And
the
I think
hole.
I did.
My hole I can put on the wall.
Oh, the hole. Okay, yes, okay. So you were trying to trap it in the hole.
Yes.
Okay. You rolled an unnatural 20 on the survival check for it. Okay. You begin hearing that kind of bubbling sound. It's about 2 in the morning now. Go ahead and roll luck for me real quick, actually, before that happens, before this event happens. Just to see if something...
I'm going to use my +1 to bump that 2 to a 3.
3. Okay. A PETA van comes by, and they are patrolling as usual. And it's, what do you do with the hole?
Well, I figure we're not out on the street, like it's on a wall. I put it on the side of a wall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, so like unless you're standing in front of it in this alley, you can't just like look down the alley and see it. It's like on the wall.
Yes and no. You don't understand what PETA necessarily has at their disposal.
Well, I guess they could have detect magic, I guess.
They are strolling down the street, and the PETA van pulls and parks. What are you doing? You rolled a 3, so
Isn't
you have the
that,
opportunity
like,
to
neutral?
save from it.
Isn't a 3 neutral?
It's neutral negative. 4 is true neutral.
Okay.
You have an opportunity to save from this. It's not terrible. It's not a 2 or a 1, but it's not something bad could happen if you don't do something about it.
All right. I'm going to guess I fucking God damn it.
You can lie and wait and see what they do. You can, because right now it just
I'm
looks like
going
there's
to
a weird
wait,
hole on
but
the
I'm
side of it. Okay.
I'm going to wait and see what happens, but I'm going to ready Phantasmal Force.
Okay, interesting. Okay. You see the PETA van pull to a stop. You see 2 people get out of the van. It seems like they're the only 2 in this particular van. They walk out. They're wearing these kind of white, almost kind of like the peacekeepers in Hunger Games. That kind of look to it. They walk out. You see one of them has these goggles on. They walk up to the hole, begin examining it, like looking around it. One of them kind of looks into the hole, notices
They smell the stinky meat.
They smell like this. It's not. I mean, yeah. I guess if you took rotten meat from the butcher,
It's scraps. Actually, yeah, it's cold out. It wouldn't be.
yeah, it wouldn't smell. But they kind of look in. You see one of them kind of just peers in on the side. Doesn't go all the way in, but is just looking. And then you hear the burbling. Okay.
Fuck those guys. I don't know.
You hear the burbling happen. I'm not going to roll anything. I'm just going to set up moves.
Look, if they wanted to, maybe they'll know the problem exists and they'll go after it after this.
I'm not rolling anything. So what happens is just what happens. The burbling continues. You see one of them just get snatched. And it's dark out, and it's the one with the goggles. And the other guy, the guy was like looking into the hole, like actually like climbing to like see the meat. And when he comes back out, the guy's just gone. And you see the guy get snatched up by the burbling mess. And you hear like muffled screams as he's kind of dragged away. Are you going to do anything as this guy's dragged away? You don't have to.
Does the other guys see it?
This is why the guy's in the hole.
So the other guy doesn't see that his friend got dragged away. He just like looked around. He's like, "Oh, where'd he go?"
As he's coming, the guy is being dragged away as this guy is coming out of the hole. He doesn't necessarily see it. Is he still in the hole right now? So one's in the hole, one's in getting dragged away.
Can I use prestidigitation to throw my voice? Is that something prestidigitation can do?
Thaumaturgy.
That's thaumaturgy. Yeah, that's what I thought.
You don't have to do anything because other things. You can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'm not gonna do anything. Fuck it.
Okay. The other guy comes out. You hear the screaming stop after a while. The other guy comes out, kind of looks around confused. You see him kind of go for this radio. You see him like say something into it. You're not sure what he's saying. Make a perception check.
7.
Yeah, you can't really hear what he's saying. He's saying something into it. He waits. Says something into it again. Nothing seems to happen. He kind of walks around for a little bit, kind of calling out this guy's name. And then you hear the burbling again.
From near me?
Nope. From you with your survival check, I'll also include that into a stealth check. You're perfectly hidden. This trap is perfect. And you see the burbling, this mass beginning to reach out for this other guy. And it grabs him.
I was going to do something before.
Okay, what are you doing?
I was going to activate my Phantasmal Force.
Okay.
And I was even going to have it like really simply be like someone, like he hears a voice in his head say, "Hey, you should call for backup. There's something about to eat you."
The PETA guy?
Yeah, he hears that.
Okay. Roll a d10.
Roll
a
a
d10
save.
for me.
Oh.
Well, roll a d10 for me for the wild magic, and then roll.
No wild magic.
What did you roll?
6.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. It's different from regular wild magic. You don't just roll a one.
Okay.
It builds
Got
up. Yeah, make a persuasion check now.
18.
18. You see him go for his radio, and this thing is on him now, and he's like trying to struggle with the radio and like communicate at the same time, and you hear him get a couple words in, and then this thing begins to consume him and drag him off. And you see the thing going into that similar sewer area.
Fuck. Fucking goddamn it. Okay. I'll, fucking, I guess... Can I try and polymorph it?
Go ahead. I mean, I don't need to roll. I'm not rolling anything, but let me see if this thing... Okay, it does. You roll a d10 for me before.
That's a 1, baby boy.
That is a 1. Roll 2d10 for me.
A 90. Out here with
90.
these high rolls.
You become invisible.
Oh, very good.
But as you cast this polymorph on this creature, nothing happens. It seems that and you actually,
I figured.
it's not going to cost you a spell slot, but you as you cast it, as the last minute, you were like, oh shit, I knew these things aren't like aren't a creature that can be transmogrified, because they are transmogrification. They have an immutable form.
Yeah, I figured. You just never know.
Yeah, no. Good call, bro. What are you doing? Split second now. He's being dragged away, and he's going down in the sewer.
Guess I'd shoot it.
With?
A chromatic orb, but cast up a chromatic orb.
Okay. If Jordan sees you doing this as well, what level are you casting it at?
4th.
4th level. Okay. Okay. Roll a d10 for me.
Well, he doesn't see me do it because I'm invisible. But actually, no, he does see me because I become visible. Yeah, 7.
7? Okay, you're fine. He also lets, as he sees you splashing this thing, he also begins shooting at it. Cast it at 3rd level, you said? 4th level. Jordan also lets loose a couple of bolts, and you guys begin blasting at this thing. It's still going away. Are you giving chase?
Fuck. I'll cast Scatter on the guy.
Okay.
I scatter him out to his truck.
Okay, yeah, you do so. You scatter him out of the thing. What are you doing about the monster? Are you letting it go?
It's not going for my hole trap.
It seems to be, it was scattering away. Actually, you see it kind of quiver as the guy's like pulled away from it, and it does continue to go underground.
Fuck it. Now that it's out, I hit it with a fireball.
Okay.
Now that the guy's out of it.
Roll 2d10 for me. Roll the first one for the scatter. 10. Okay, you're fine. And then roll another d10 for the fireball.
7.
You blast this thing, and it kind of, you hear that gurgling screech kind of come out from it. It still seems like it's alive, although it looks worse than it did last night. It's going down into the hole. What are you doing? Oh, I should have mentioned before. It looked better than it did last night, as though it healed possibly, and then tonight, obviously. But it looks worse than it did last night.
Okay. I don't have a lot of options. I guess.
I mean, the manhole is open. You can follow this.
Yeah, fine. Fuck it. I chased into the sewer. I don't give a shit.
Okay, you begin plunging into the sewer. Jordan follows. Go ahead and just make a Constitution saving throw for me for the stench.
22. Wes is used to it. Burrito Fridays at SWAT. It was so bad.
Yeah, fucking Nick and his fucking stinky...
His stinky donkey farts.
Jordan, we'll let ride on yours. You guys begin plunging into the thing and begin giving chase to this thing. It has a little bit of a heads up to you, but what are you doing because it's dark? Jordan can see, surprisingly well. You can.
Well, he has that Eldritch invocation, clearly. I light up the end of my staff with prestidigitation.
Okay. You light up your staff. You can kind of see it slithering away in the place down ahead of you.
Chase after it.
Tunnels out of it. Okay. You continue to give chase. You can tell that you're beginning to gain on it, but then you smell something even worse than the sewer. I need you to make another Constitution saving throw, please.
9. Okay, no. Okay. A 10.
Take -1 body.
Okay.
I'll say Jordan does a couple pot shots at it while you are continuing to give chase. So he gets one good shot in.
See, I have blindness, deafness. Is there a eliminating spell? Get rid of the smell.
It feels like it's gas, some kind of toxin that you're breathing in.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. All right.
Would you continue your suit? You kind of cover your mouth. Is there anything you're going to do to try to ward off this gas?
All right.
In Chicago, the sewers are like deep and wide and strange. So like this is a full-on kind of race you're having here, but it seems to be going in a particular direction. Like it makes a bank here, it does this here.
Let me know how you feel about this, but I want to use my limited wish.
Okay, you will roll on the bad wild magic table if you use this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Fuck it. I'm already at one body. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, if you're at one body, choose a penalty or a infliction.
What's the difference again?
Penalty, you get a growth point. Infliction, you don't.
Why would I take infliction then?
You also, if a penalty is a permanent thing to your character, infliction is a unpermanent thing, but it affects your going on.
Got
story.
it. Got
but
it.
you don't
got
get a
it.
growth point if you choose infliction.
I'll take the growth point. Why not?
Okay, so choose a penalty off the penalty list.
I guess. I don't know. You decide between damaged and frail. I guess. Which one makes the most sense to you?
The poisoning could weaken your body. Damage is just kind of an overall, like, you have been hurt in some internal...
Because I'm
like,
trying to figure... Clearly something would happen to my lungs here. I'm trying
to... Frail would make sense. Like, you're
right,
just weaker now. Like, your lungs have been scarred in some way.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Take that. Take a growth body point. You can exchange those once you get a chance to. If you have 2 body, you can add ability scores and stuff like that. So... that'll be an opportunity for you too. As you continue, so it resets to, if you took the penalty, it resets to your normal body now.
Okay.
Infliction resets you to 5. You continue giving chase. Jordan is also kind of having a little bit of struggle with this, but you're both pursuing on. As you continue down this thing, kind of taking pot shots at it while you continue lighting the way. It makes a bank into this kind of open cylindrical area, almost spherical. It's like it seems to be some kind of overflow area, and make a perception check.
13.
Just in the first entrance, you see a couple of skeleton of like some kind of creature, not humanoid, down here. And this thing kind of banks off and then slithers up this wall, and you see another one of these, and the two meet together now, and it seems like it's now going to defend its territory. What are you doing?
I'm still trying to catch up to it, yeah?
You have now kind of cornered it.
Okay, I have now got, so I'm not going to do the limited wish thing then. I had a thing that I wanted to try. But instead, I will, fuck it, animate objects. My fucking throwing knives come out, and then I ready a fireball.
Roll a d10 for me. Roll the first d10 for me.
It's a 1!
You keep on building up the wild magic, but then just rolling a 1 anyway. Roll 2d10 for me.
57.
57. Okay. Sure. We'll settle this in a moment. You kind of begin preparing your stuff. You set all the animated objects to go. What are you using? Daggers?
Yeah.
Okay. As you send the daggers out, and they begin to attack this meat monstrosity, the daggers do slashing.
Piercing.
Do they do piercing? Okay. Then never mind then.
Daggers do piercing. Knives do slashing. Daggers are also cheaper. So I have those.
Okay. I will say they do some piercing, some slashing, because they're animated. They're not just like, you're just not doing the actual like dagger stabbing. They're doing dagger motion. Some of the meat monster begins to split off. But you prepare your firebolt as well. Go ahead and roll d10 for me.
9.
You're fine. You blast this thing. How many daggers do you have?
10.
10 daggers? And it's a 5th level spell, right?
It is a 5th level spell.
Then This thing is starting to look like really bad, and you're like chopping at it. You're screwing it up, but these meat sacks that are splitting off begin falling onto you. You take -2 body.
Cool.
And Jordan is also like blasting at this thing, and you guys are making some quick work of it. And it seems like it's going to try to make a move to escape. So what are you going to try to do to keep it? It begins kind of trying to like maneuver around you. It's no longer trying to.
Like, how is it trying to escape, though?
It essentially like maneuvers around you, and parts of it begin splitting off and kind of trying to recoalesce at this point above, like behind you.
Instead of having my daggers just all out attacking it, can I put them in more of like a defensive formation, like they are all coming together to
go
make
ahead and
like
roll just a general spell casting check against this DC I have for its life.
22.
You're fine. You strategically like place some of the daggers so that they begin slashing and tearing at it as it begins to try to kind of leave. And Jordan makes short work of it again. This time, instead of trying to escape, it's just going to attack and try to fight you down to the death. You take -2 more body.
Okay. Not great.
You finally, eventually, make quick work of this being as your daggers finally. Do you use another fireball?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, roll a d10 for me.
4.
You're fine. You begin tearing this thing apart with Jordan's help, who significantly lowered how challenging this was going to be, and you both eventually finish this. As you both catch your breath from this fight, Jordan looks around for a moment, and you both take a look around. Go ahead and make another perception check for me.
15.
You use the tip of your staff, which is now, for some reason, like smoking. You're not sure why, but the tip of your staff is glowing with your prestidigitation, and you begin to look around, and you see scenes of horror. You see what first are like dead rats. Sometimes some of them are just parts of dead rats. Some of them are like skeletons. You see desecrated animals, like a dog here, a alley cat there, and then you start seeing people. And you see, sometimes you'll just see like a skull. Sometimes you'll see creatures like huddled and just like, it seems like meat just ripped from their person, rotting. And you continue to kind of scan the area, and you find 2 figures that are kind of, one is kind of laying on top of the other. Roll one more d6 for me.
It's a 1.
You see this still small figure, kind of hands up on the wall, leaning over this other smaller figure. And you can tell this was those 2. You'll take -2 spirit from this. And you'll take +4 mind for this entire thing.
Oh, I've passed 10.
So you get a growth point in mind.
Does it like continue on into it with a +4? Because
Yes,
it 9,
if you go
so
above
I'm
10,
3.
then you go above. Yeah.
All right. All right. Just as can the epilogue of that be, I tell the people at the home that I dealt with it. I don't tell them. I just say I didn't find them. I didn't find them, but I dealt with the problem.
Willa goes, well, thank you anyway. I don't want to burden you by any means, but if there's anything we can do for you here or anything of the sorts, please just let us know. Thank you for at least putting the time in to figure
I'll be
this out.
sure to let you know. And before I leave, I like turn back from the door and say, make sure, hang on, my lugs are fucked up now. Make sure you're locking your door at night.
She kind of taps her head a little bit and she says, I have since this whole thing started. And as you walk back to your apartment now, you realize realize just what Phaeton and Gaia coming together really means.
Ha ha ha.